This is Secrets to Win Big, your roadmap to sustained growth. Brought to you by Arjun Sen, founder and CEO of Zen Mango, top brand growth driver, and a former Fortune 500 executive who has been called one of the most marketing intelligent minds in the business. Find him at zenmango.com. And now, here's your host, Arjun Sen.
Hello, welcome to Secrets to Win Big with Arjun Sen. This is Arjun. And today it's an honor and a pleasure to have a conversation with an amazing buddy, friend of mine who inspires me on a daily basis. Sunil Kapoor is an IIT Kharagpur alumni and a manufacturing entrepreneur for branded steel weld, wire meshes, and gratings, running 3 manufacturing companies and 1 trading company in India, with distribution all over India and Southeast Asia. It has been my pleasure and honor to watch Sunil evolve and succeed from high school days to engineering college and then life and in career. And I've been inspired by 2 specific areas of his life. One, the whole success, the entrepreneurship that I talked about, and we'll have more conversations about, started literally from scratch. Yes, there have been some inspirations in his family, which we'll talk about, but more importantly, he built everything from scratch. And secondly, how much pride he takes in giving back to society in the form of taxes, employment, and donations is really fascinating. So Sunil, welcome to Secrets to Win Big.
Hi, Arjun. It's such a pleasure to be here in your esteemed show.
So Sunil, first of all, let's go and let you put things in perspective, talk about a little bit about your journey, some of your biggest wins. And then I really want to understand and help all of us see how you created your own path. So can you take us through that, please?
Yeah. So thing is that when I was in my institute, so this I used to cycle to my institute main building and my alma mater IIT Kharagpur. So it had a signage, on top of the main building, and it was written dedicated to the service of the nation. So I used to wonder, why has the institute put this signage here? So that sort of thinking started evolving in me, that maybe the institute wants us to pay back to society, and maybe for that reason it is dedicating that institute to the service of the nation. So I started doing some research. As I, later on, as I used to go to the department, all 4 years I had to cycle past that signage, and I realized that the institute was spending 100 times what we were paying the institute for our, mess fees and hostel fees and tuition fees. It was more than 100 times. So it was really a pleasant surprise. And for a developing nation, and that fund used to come from the center as a grant. So the total fund divided by total number of undergraduate students, that figure that was astronomical, and what we were paying was nothing compared to that. So that started giving me that, that conviction that yes, I have to give back, and it is that for that purpose it is there. So in what way should I help out? So I could do go to a remote area and try to help out the poor, or I could start an NGO and work there, or maybe I could generate wealth and give the nation in terms of taxation and employment. So how do I do it? So finally I chose, in my last semester there was a course in entrepreneurship, optional course. I took that course. I was lucky to be admitted there, and in that the institute, it was a 3-4 day workshop, and they a lot of entrepreneurs from who had passed out from IIT Kharagpur, they came and they taught us, how do you manage these entrepreneurship business, how do you manage business, how do you manage the cost and this and that. There was field trips around the campus. They took us to small factories, and the entrepreneurs, I learned a lot. And then that some fire started burning in me, that this is the path I will take. I will generate wealth and then give back to society via this wealth. And that is how I took this path.
Wow. Sunil, I really think in my whole life, you are the first person who takes pride in the taxes that you are paying And most of us look at taxes as, do I have to, less is better. But, putting and connecting the whole dots is, we all are aware the countries where we grew up in, how they have invested in us. And because of that, we are there. I really love that fascinating concept. So I now want to go a little bit further into little bit details about your journey when you gave up on the corporate world to start, because you had an opportunity which was custom created for you to be in a career at one of the coolest companies, which everybody else covets to get there. I was graduating in the same class as you, so I know, many times people get into entrepreneurship when they don't have life falling in place. But for a person with amazing talent, when everything was falling in place for you, what the heck were you thinking to give up everything to start this unknown journey?
It was basically, I had realized that if you, when I'm working for some person, no matter how much I am earning, it is, I could earn multiples if I'm creating wealth in the form of becoming an entrepreneur. So that is a different ball game altogether. So working for an organization as well as being a wealth creator and a job seeker, there's a lot of difference. So when you are creating wealth, you are using multiple persons in your organization, and it's sort of a parallel processing going on. So since I wanted to create wealth, it was only fitting that I start off on my own rather than go in my professional field and rise in the organization and become a very wealthy person. So, and I believe that that was indeed one of the right decisions I made, because ultimately that is what happened. Because now there's so many people working for me, and they're all generating wealth for the companies that I am managing, and that increases the base of taxation, and that helps my giving back to society, and also the employment that I generate. So that cannot come if you yourself are an employee, no matter if you are a president or a CEO or whatever, but you are still an employee. And here you are generating jobs for many people in your country or across countries. So this is a big difference between being an entrepreneur. So that is why I left. One fine morning, I went and I put my resignation. They were surprised, but I said, no, I must start early. If I start, become later, I may get used to these facilities and comforts, and I may not be able to leave it. So they were, quite, they lauded me there, and then I was wished well, and I started off on my own.
So now there is this legendary train journey you did from Kolkata to Cochin, I forgot, or somewhere in Kerala.
Yes, Cochin, via Madras, yeah.
So I want to go back into your mind. You're a young man. On one side, you're excited, you're committed, and I applaud that. But on the other side, so what was going through your mind, and how did you, knowing not that much, but figuring everything out, build the whole conglomerate of factories and more?
Yes. At that time, it was there were a lot of things, cross currents in my mind when I boarded that second class compartment and went on to Madras, and then from Madras to Cochin. It took me 3 days to go reach Cochin, because at that time I did not have any capital with me, and I wanted to set up a manufacturing business. Being a mechanical engineer, the objective was to set up a manufacturing company. So for that, and there was no funds with me. So how do I start? So Cochin Kerala at that time was booming. That is a small state in India, but that was booming because almost every house had a son or a daughter in the Gulf earning money and sending back to the state. So it was booming, and the per capita income of that state was very high compared to India. That was in 1986 December and 1987, way back then. So that was the best place to earn. And I had decided right at the onset that I will work with my own funds. That was the big problem. I will not leverage my IIT education and try to take a loan and start off business, but I will first generate my own funds, and then I will find out my project, what engineering project I want to do, and then I will set up my factory. So this was the path which was best for me, because Kerala was the place which could generate the maximum returns in the shortest possible time through trading to me. And once I achieve that, I've got the the corpus needed, and the project also I would find out. And once I get the project and the corpus, I can easily set up my manufacturing unit, and there will be no risk of the unit falling sick, because I will be working with my own funds. So these are certain principles for which I went there. And initially there was a lot of because I had to start very small, in a very small shop, come office, come go down. But I had to learn the language there. I learned Malayalam, the local language, because I had to work with the workers there. So it was a lovely journey. 6 years I spent there, and my office and showrooms are still there. They are my, what you call, very nostalgic places. I go there once in a year, and that is where I generated the corpus. And finally, what I planned for it, I succeeded. Within 5-6 years, I generated, and I found out the project also, the steel weld wire mesh project. And I started off in Delhi, because Delhi was the best place to launch a manufacturing business, because there was no labor issues. Kerala was a very, red state sort of, because a lot of labor problems. Calcutta, West Bengal was also a red state, but Delhi there was no issue. So I started off my manufacturing enterprise from Delhi. So that is how it happened.
So I want to build a little bit on something you mentioned about the financial discipline of staying within your own funds. And I also think there's a reality that comes in, because sometimes when you borrow, you just go outside. In Hindi, the word that we look at is aukad, is we sometimes go beyond what we are.
Correct.
So can you just help me a little bit? As you have grown, you have stayed true to that discipline all through.
Yes.
How have you kept that as a core of your organization values, even now when people would stand in line to give you money, but you still don't take it? So how has it been a very important pillar of Sunil Kapoor's growth?
Yes, because it's now 36 years that I have been working. And steel business is a cyclical business, ups and downs, manufacturing of steel, But there has been absolutely smooth run of my business, honestly. There has never been a hiccup that I felt that I'm going down, or I may sink, or I may have to run to people to more funds and all. The reason being that I have always the initial decision was the right decision, that I will work with my own funds. And then I added something on to it later on, that like I set up my first manufacturing unit. So it took a lot of funds. So later on, the market I pushed my brands. Now it is moving all over India. So there was a need for another plant, another setup. But I found that I was not so much surplus in funds. So I had decided that I will grow only when I have the sufficient surplus funds of my own. Till then, I will wait. Let the project wait, rather than rush to take a loan and get headlong into things which I will not be able to manage financially later. And this organic growth over the years, it has not been too bad for me, because now I have got 4 factories, 4 manufacturing, 4 companies I'm running in 4 places in Delhi. And I've got distribution all over India and Southeast Asia, Nepal, Bangladesh, and these countries. And we have never had any problem of funds or any kind of a financial issue. And we are number 1 in our business in India, though it is a small and medium enterprise, but we are proud to say that we are number 1 in it. So what else? And we are giving employment, and we are generating taxation. We are among the top taxpayers and employers. So employers, we may be small, but taxpayer wise, we are on the top. So what else is there? So I'm very satisfied, and there was no risk at all. So this kind of a venture, this kind of a thinking has always put me in good state. So I'm following that.
So I really think that, just that part of your life's journey should be taken into a business school case study, because as the entrepreneur, you had 2 choices. One is to seize opportunities, grow faster, borrow money. But on the other side, you said, let the opportunity wait, but your values are non-negotiable. And that's the reason I think you can talk about, even in a fluctuating world, you have been rock solid. Yes. And have, it's not surprising that you have been rock solid, because you deserved it based on the choices you made. And I feel that there's a huge lesson to be learned in that journey. So I want to look at, 35, 36 years. even with the values, everything, there has to be challenges and obstacles. Okay. So I want to get a little personal to understand when Sunil gets into a big challenge, like what's his mindset? How do you process? How do you always come out on the other side with a positive attitude and a smile on your face always? So what's your secret to get through obstacles?
Yeah. Obstacle, as far as in business, day in and day out, there are obstacles. As you have to keep innovating, you have to keep ahead of competition, you have to keep employing better people and getting the best out of them. So the challenges are always there. So my strategy to handle these challenges has always been, number one, treat the people, firstly recruit raw intelligence. I do not believe in a recruitment of experienced people into the organization. I recruit raw. I take interviews and see if the boy, firstly, I recruit young and I recruit raw intelligent people who have got the overall intelligence, and they can, I believe that they can handle any department which I put them into and put them through training. And number two, I believe in working, I mean, in the sense, I treat them like family. I tell them that this is a family. This is not an organization. It's just not just that you are coming here and you are earning and then you are going home. No, it is a family. You are part of a family. Whatever disputes or any conflicts you are having, which is outside of the work, if you feel any complex scenario which you are unable to sort out, I am there for you. I will handle it as a part of a family. So whenever in case of any dispute regarding work also, you need not have to go to any outside party. You need not have to go into any arbitrator's place, or need not have to go to court. We are here. We will settle it within the four walls of the family. So if this family system, this culture, the team above all, the values of this firm above all, and all within the four walls of the family, this has helped me to manage the conflicts very well. So this family system within the organization, no need for any extraneous influence, and working with my own funds, these two have combined to help me manage all the obstacles that come into the way of doing business, because we are never short of funds. I believe in paying the creditors on time, and of course let there be debtors, because that will give me more margins, but the creditor side should be clear all the time. And number two, own funds. Number three, grow organically. Number four, treat employees like family and recruit young people and let them grow in the organization rather than take senior people. These principles have always helped me grow with consistency.
As I'm listening to you, Sunil, the thing that hits me again is what you are sharing with me are very strong beliefs that you're living every day. Unlike organizations, they create a poster, we are like family, put your face here and take a picture, and then we treat you like a goofball. And I really think that is so powerful, because within a family, if there's challenges, we don't go outside to a therapist or somebody else. Like that means the problems, we are not family anymore. So I really love the simplicity of the whole process. And the second thing that hits me is how you are living this, because if you are not living this and embracing this, it really doesn't work. It just becomes that, yeah, our boss owner talks about it, but it does not. So I just want to take all this together and take a step back by saying, in this journey, are there any leaders or anybody whose influence has been big in your life, that has been very important in your journey, that you want to talk about, and what you learned one thing from that person?
Yes. When I was working in my first organization, I worked for, after passing out, it was a computer manufacturer. At that time, it was not a big manufacturer, it was a small one. And now it is one of the top 3-4 organizations in India. The co-founder of that organization, you may also be knowing him. He was from our own IIT Kharagpur. But at that time, I didn't know. But later on, I found out he is Mr. Arjun. So he was the co-founder of that company, HCL Limited. And I, since it was a small concern, so I had the opportunity to work as a team with him for quite some time. And I realized that he had wonderful attributes of a leader, in the sense that he was I believe that a person, an entrepreneur should be very strong in two domains. Number one, it should be absolutely conversant with the technical side of the matter. Like he should know the product inside out. He should know each and every bits and piece of the things that are being manufactured in the organization and how it is being done. The technical aspect, you have to be very perfect. You should have the knowledge, full knowledge, and he had it. Number one. And number two, the human side, the human aspect, the empathy, the kind of way you handle your staff, the how you put them at ease, how you take work out of them, how you manage them. So he was wonderful in both the aspect, the technical aspect as well as the human aspect. So wonderful. I really, it was such a wonderful time I had working for him. I learned so much, and I realized that this gentleman, the attributes he has, I would like to have them in me as and when I start my own venture. And when I did, I really used his his humility, his down to earth nature, and his the way he treated people, and the way, I mean, always on first name basis and no airs. So these qualities, along with the strong fundamentals in technical side. So for that, I also was in awe of him for that. And when I started my own venture, become a mechanical engineer, I had learned in my institute, and I had to restudy, and I mastered all the machines and stuff that I installed in my plant, so that nobody can misguide you. So that way, in both these aspects, I believe that Arjun Malhotra was one person who was fundamental. I am a leader. I believe he has been a leader for me. That
To me, I'm also fortunate to know Arjun Malhotra, and I was those days president of Pan IIT USA, and we were doing a publication called Guru Funda, because we felt sometimes you get a wisdom from these amazing alumni, and all you need is that one direction, and that opens more paths. So that day, I think I did the smartest thing by asking him a question. And the question I asked him was, Arjun to Arjun, what is the biggest thing IIT Kharagpur taught you? Okay. And I was expecting a very high level answer. And he smiled and said, IIT Kharagpur taught me how to work with people smarter than myself without stopping to respect myself. Okay. And it just really hit home, because Sunil, think for a second, all of us were one of the top few students in our school. We go to this one place where among all toppers, somebody has to be a bottomer. In my department, I was the bottomer very proudly. But I really think in that journey, as he talked about, is without losing respect for yourself, seeing the power in Sunil, how do you see everybody else and work with everybody? Arjun Malhotra, high respect for him, wish him all the best in life. He has inspired us such a lot. Yeah. So now I just want to take all your wisdom and say, okay, Sunil, you shared a lot. If there's one learning that you want to take forward in the rest of your personal and professional life, what is the one wisdom learning that you will take forward?
Yeah, that's a very nice question, Arjun. If there is one learning that I wish to convey to anyone, it will be that has been in my life. It will be that the universe will ultimately give you whatever you earnestly desire and passionately work for, and you are always ready to wait for the time to come when you will achieve it. Until then, you are willing to work determinedly, dedicatedly, and passionately and patiently. The universe will ultimately deliver it to you. And it has happened to me not once, twice, multiple times. I've experienced it. So I wish to tell the listeners that please, whatever you honestly desire, please chase that dream without looking left and right. Herd is that side. There's a lonely furrow here. You plow that lonely furrow. You go on that path with conviction, with determination, with hard work, and with patience to wait for the time to come when you'll get it. And I'm sure that universe always gives it to you. So this is one learning which I really,
I love that.
Helped me a lot.
I would position this as life's guarantee. If you want it bad, absolutely, as you said, and without any distraction, you work your butt off day in, day out, it will happen. I love that. So the next part is, I call glorified BS, but I define BS as bragging shamelessly. Okay. Sunil, this is for me personally, is you have achieved a lot as a human being, as an entrepreneur, as a cool husband, as dad, all these taken together. If you want to brag shamelessly about one thing in life, but that you're most proud of, what is the one thing that is the biggest BS in your life that you want to brag shamelessly?
The one thing that I would like to, brag is that, yes, fine. I have won in my work, and I've won in my life also, because I believe that if you don't win both, then you don't win big. You have to win big in work as well as you have to win big in life. So then only you combine, and then you can say that you have really won. So I believe, by the grace of God, due humility, that my children are well placed. They could fire their imagination. They are on to their path. They are successful. They are happy. My wife is on her own path. She's working as an artist. She's happy. My work is doing well. I'm still growing. My employees are happy. They say that we will never leave you. If at all we will leave, we will go to our villages and start. But we will not work for any other employer, because we are getting everything here. So this is something which gives me maximum satisfaction.
So thank you for sharing that. I want you to talk a little bit more about your wife, because when I met you recently in Delhi after all these years, I just saw the sparkle like in a kid who is dating for the first time and fallen in love. Like I saw that sparkle of love in your eyes when you were talking about your wife and her art. Can you give us a little background, if you're okay, about what she's doing and how fascinating it is, please?
Yeah, she basically, she is a botany honors graduate, but I found later on that she was very interested in art, and she had a very good knack for art. When I used to visit her house, I used to find a lot of paintings in the drawing room, and I asked her who has done it. Archana, the name was written on the bottom. So I said that she's so good in art, and I realized that had she gone into the field of architecture, she would have been a very good architect. So later on, when the children grew and all, she joined a college, and she kept on getting diplomas in learning various art forms, and they started painting as a hobby, and she dishes out keeps on paint as a hobby. She is as a hobbyist, and she does painting, and she's in a zone when she paints. Otherwise, she's a doting mother and wife, and she is a wonderful person to be with. I mean, I have grown so much. I wouldn't have been even half of what I am had it not been for the support that I received from her. So it's a God's gift for me that she's there in my life.
So, for those of you who are listening to this, I really want you to watch the video, at least for this part, to see the smile on Sunil's face as he's talking about his wife, Archana. And I really feel that that is very important, because the thing that Sunil talked about a second back about winning professionally means nothing unless you're winning in life also. At the end of the day, being happy and finding that happiness, I really think defines all of us. So Sunil, now this is a very goofy question. Okay, you just open an invite and you see that in this event, there's a 16-year-old Sunil Kapoor is coming. Sunil today is coming, and 100-year-old Sunil Kapoor is coming. So where will you plan this meeting? And what would be one thing each one of them will tell the other two Sunil Kapoors?
Oh, that's a wonderful question. If at all this meeting is to happen, it will happen in my imagination, in the vividity of my domain of imagination. And this is a wonderful question. I think that the 16-year-old, the agenda for this meeting will be what I value most in life. 2 or 3 things which I value most in life, because all 3 are me. One is a 100-year-old me, one is a 59-year-old me, and one is a 16-year-old me. So the 16-year-old person would put up the question which because he is immature at that time, and as 59-year-old me and 100-year-old me, they have achieved, they are already senior. So he will ask them, what is the best way to live life? What is the best way, or what path should I follow? So the 59 and the 100-year persons would definitely tell him that the best way to live life is to go for it, find your passion, find your dreams. Don't look life left or right. Believe in yourself. Go for the path you think is right. Work with passion. The universe will help you. You will succeed. But when you do succeed, you pay back to society. You pay back to society from what you have achieved, because whatever we are at today, all the comforts that we are enjoying, it is all due to our ancestors who have toiled. Human ancestors were toiled day and night and given us all these given these comforts, and we are enjoying. So it is our duty also to pay back a small portion of what and contribute to the chain. So when you give back, nothing gives you more happiness than when you improve the quality of someone's life. So that will give you more happiness. So it will increase your blood. You'll work harder. So it become a sort of a virtuous cycle. You keep working, and you must work till the end of your life. There's no retirement in life. You must work because you have to contribute to society, and this chain will continue, and you'll live a very happy life. And that is the best way to live life. Number one, this. And number two is about health. I'm very, very particular about health, because the health dimension, there are so many dimensions to health. So you must learn how to learn about health parallelly. As you go along in life, you must learn about how to manage your health also. Because even if one dimension of health becomes vulnerable, the whole edifice of your work life can, start collapsing. So this health part from your side, keep up to date, have some self-discipline, control yourself, keep your health good, and keep working till the end. And this way you will have a very, very fulfilling, like, I think the crux of the conversation will revolve around these two domains of health and how to live.
I love that. And if I take all these things together, I would tell that 16-year-old Sunil Kapoor, get on that train to coaching, believing that if you work hard and you really want to go to coaching and find the answer, you will. I really love that whole analogy of getting on the train for 3 days on second class with the vision, even though you didn't know the language or anything, but what you had with you is a heart that was totally aligned and determined. And I really think it's very powerful. So Sunil, this has been a great conversation. Okay. So at the end, I really want to wrap up by asking you a question, which is there anything else we haven't talked about you want to share? And secondly, I truly am grateful to you for answering all my questions. Is there anything you want to ask me? Because I owe you. Anything you want to ask, I'll try to answer. May not do as good a job as you, but if you have a question, I can answer.
Yes. Regarding anything that, I would still like to talk about, like the listeners to know from my life, and that is that one must keep learning all through the life, not just learning through the medium of the established literature or books, but also through meeting people and talking to people, whichever state of society you are meeting people. If you are intent, you will realize that he has something or she has something to give you. So you imbibe that and keep learning from your staff, your workers, your colleagues, your employees, your children, your parents, and all through the society. Everybody has something or else to give you, and give you every day something new. So you gather from them. Have that attitude of gathering. And number two, read and learn, because there's so much that has been established knowledge. You have to keep learning, because that is the only way you will be able to adapt to the changing times and keep your organization thriving, and keep your family life thriving. Because all the time when you take decisions, it is the decision, what comes out is coming through all these knowledge that you have accumulated in your mind through various experiences. And the more varied and the knowledge you have in your mind, the better is the final decision. So you must, I learn, I still study, I still read at least 2 to 3 hours every day without fail. At the moment I'm interested in science and spirituality. It keeps me, shows me the big picture, keeps me grounded, keeps me humble, makes me remember that we are nothing. So helps me, and spirituality, keeps me grateful. So all these, and also I update my knowledge, so that helps me in the technical side also. So in this way, you must keep your learning up. First, you must learn how to learn, because what are the aspects from where you must learn, and when you learn how to learn, then you start learning and keep learning. It's a lifelong thing. You cannot stop here. This is about the something which I wanted to say in addition. And regarding my asking you a question, the only thing that comes to my mind is that such a wonderful podcast series you have started. I just wanted to know your goal and your objective of setting up this series for the for posterity or the benefit of mankind. What is the basic goal?
So there's a tactical answer and there's a bigger picture answer. The tactical answer was when COVID hit on literally March 20th, our accounts receivables became zero, because when people lose their job, I don't know who to collect from. And all of a sudden, we, for a tiny company, we were in a hole of obscene amount of money. And going back to, again, spirituality, Bhagavad Gita, and what my grandma taught me, action better than inaction gets you through the darkest of days. So I wanted to do something to start, and podcast was something I've always wanted to do. And I got my whole team excited, like, this is it, like as if this was the highest paid, even though we are not making any money, podcast. And I also had somebody from Delhi, an amazing kiddo called Kriti Chawla. She was like a blessing from nowhere. God's like somewhere it shows up, and Kriti was instrumental with her energy, passion. She got me on Instagram. Like I didn't even know what Instagram is, how to even access Instagram. She got me, and that's the way the whole journey started. But the bigger picture is what I've also realized all through life is 8 out of 10 things we need to know to succeed today already exists in the mind of others or in industries away from me. And that's the part where the logo I created is half my face to remind me this is a conversation. It's not my show. Like today, Sunil's wisdom completes the conversation. And that's the part where connecting the dot from people from all over the world, all walks of life, whether it is my amazing nephew, 14-year-old, who taught me, for the same journey, 2 different people have 2 different milestones. So we'll think, if you and I are running, you're fit, you may need to hydrate every 3 miles. I may need to hydrate every half a mile. It's totally okay. To Arjun Malhotra, Subrata Datta, Partha Sinha, and I've talked to some politicians. I've talked to this amazing person called Sridhar, who is building the new Google. Like this is a guy whose whole simple business model is based on Google takes the question that you ask, and they auction it to the highest bidder. Is there a world where you want to pay some $3 to $5 a month, where the search is 100% dedicated for you? Think, you're asking Waze or Google Map or anybody where you want to go. Instead of them taking you to that place, they're trying to take you wherever their clients are. So saying, do you want to add some rasmalai? Do you want to buy this? Do you want to have a beer? Like, think it's a total, like, these are the amazing, fascinating people I meet. And my whole fun part is just to chill, listen, connect the dots. And most recently, last week, I talked to a gentleman called Dr. Patrick Cohn. He is one of the top sports psychologists in the world. What he taught me was winning big. Everybody can win big, but you have to define win on your terms. You cannot let the world define win, because if the win is all about the end result, which you don't control. Like today, if you and I choose to run a race, I cannot guarantee myself a win because I don't know how fast you run. I can promise I will run my personal best. That's all. So my win has to be defined. Arjun running his personal best. I may still lose badly to you. Who cares? And that's the part what I learned was if my focus was to beat you, then I become unethical. Then I put my leg out, push you, and then I regret pushing my little friend, from all these years back because, and those are incredible wisdoms over the years. So I'm really fortunate we started for maybe the wrong reason, but sometimes life pushes us. But incredible. Clint McCaskill, my business partner, he trusts me such a lot. He heads operations. And poor guy, he had no choice to jump into it. And he has been instrumental to build him, Kriti, my wife, Chitra, my daughter, Raka. She was there for me for my 100th episode and is always there. So it has been a fascinating journey. But again, thanks for giving me a chance to relive this. So truly appreciate this.
Thank you so much.
So thanks, Sunil, for this fascinating conversation. Truly appreciate this and wish you all the happiness in life and professionally in that order, and wish you the very best to your incredible family. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Arjun. Same, the feeling is absolutely mutual. Wish you all the best in life and also in your venture. All success. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Secrets to Win Big with Arjun Sen, founder and CEO of Zen Mango, top brand growth driver, and a former Fortune 500 executive who has been called one of the most marketing intelligent minds in the business. To learn more, visit www.zenmango.com. Share this podcast with your friends and subscribe wherever you like to listen to podcasts.